going on?
What's happening? Too tall.
Too short. Sauce twins.
We back.
We're back at you.
Boy, we don't stop.
We don't stop. We really don't leave this spot.
We here all the time.
Okay? Hey, what's going on with this weather?
It's flip-flopping on us now. Set tripping.
Hey, you want to talk about bipolar weather in Central Texas for real, boy. Turn my air conditioner on because it's 85.
I was wearing shorts yesterday.
Yeah, and it's 25 this morning.
I got to bundle up.
It's crazy. Hey, but we don't want to keep y'all waiting on our special guest today, Michael Boyle.
Yes, sir.
We are excited. We want to thank you. We just want to say we really appreciate your time for being on.
Absolutely.
What it do, man? Thank you. Okay.
Yes, well, I said thanks because I thought I was coming on a hockey podcast.
Oh yeah, what you say? What is sauce? What does it mean?
Sauce like a saucer pass, because the puck is like when you a saucer pass is like a nice pass that slides across the ice like a saucer.
Yeah.
And I was like, sauce twins. This has got to be like hockey guys. And then I pulled you guys up, and I was like, maybe not.
Nah,
ain't nothing to do with hockey.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you, I can barely skate. Boy, Mama bought me some rollerblades.
I can rollerblade.
Hey, I live in the country. You can't rollerblade on the asphalt that I grew up on. Hey, you can't rollerblade on no gravel.
I hear you.
Okay? Hey, but I just want to do a little intro. If you guys don't already know, this dude is so well respected in our industry in strength and conditioning and just athletic or human performance. But I know he probably doesn't want me to read all of this, but I'm going to try to read as much of this as I can.
You got to let him know now.
Okay? It's going to take me a little minute. All right? Been in the industry over 30 years, right?
Yeah, 38 years.
38 years, okay, dude, and he done forgot more than most know right now.
What?
All right, okay. So he's co-founder of Michael Boyle Strength and Conditioning, has served as the head strength and conditioning coach at Boston University for over 15 years, okay? And over the past 25 years, he's been the strength and conditioning coach for the men's ice hockey team at Boston University, right?
Yes, sir.
And, man, like, I saw that you've trained for the Boston Red Sox as well. You were the strength and conditioning consultant, can we say?
Yes, 2012, 2013.
Okay, 2012, 2013.
I got a World Series ring in 2013.
Oh, yeah.
That's on you now.
Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah, that's pretty tight right there, man. So a lot of your time has been spent with hockey and baseball, or like what are some of is that pretty accurate?
Really, more so with hockey. I only really spent, baseball was sort of a flyer, like, hey, the Red Sox asked me to do it, and I was like, sure. One of the things I believe is that coaching is coaching, and that it doesn't really matter, and that I'd figure baseball out. And I did.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
Okay.
Had some good Texans on the Red Sox.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We kind of believe the same thing. Like when it comes to what we do, we feel like there are more things alike than there are differences when it comes to strength and conditioning for the most part. That's what, we believe.
I think there's no question. I've done this in literally every sport. I mean, we had Olympic medalists in the last Olympics in ice hockey. We had Olympic medalists in judo. We had Olympic medalists in gymnastics.
Oh, wow.
We had Olympic medalists in rowing.
Okay.
And the reality is it doesn't change. There's way more. I would say kind of 80-20. 80% is the same, and 20%, it might even be 90-10.
Yeah.
That's going to be the same.
Yeah.
We might debate what's the same, but we won't debate it.
Right. Okay. And talking about debating, man. So I'm gonna tell you, we've been following you, and man, you're pretty funny on IG, man. It just cracked me up every time I see you in the car doing your show.
I found my niche, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey.
I thought you was ready when we called you the first time and you was in the car.
I said, oh, yeah, he in his element right now.
Yeah, but then I was like, I don't think I can drive and do this thing for 45 minutes, however long we got to do it.
Hey,
so.
there was a joke, immediately when we saw you in the car and you didn't want to do the show quite yet. We were like, okay, he said he's the 58 or 59-year millennial. If he was truly millennial, he would have shot it in his car while he was driving.
That's true.
Yeah. Hey, but so let's kind of dive into the topic for the day.
All right, what we talking about, man?
So we're gonna talk about a few things. We probably get off topic sometimes, but there was one for sure that we wanted to talk about now. We heard you do your video about should strength coaches or trainers, should they look the part? Kind of elaborate on that in your opinion and kind of where you were going with that.
Well, I guess where I was going was that, like, the guy, so if you can remember I was responding to a Twitter post.
Okay.
And the guy said something to the effect of, you wouldn't invest your money with a broke financial advisor. And so my thing was like, I'm not a broke financial advisor, but I don't look the part. And I guess the difference is, yes, there are obviously young guys like you that are fresh out of college sports that look the part, and that's okay. But that doesn't make you good coaches.
Right.
That just makes you young guys that are fresh out of college sports and look the part.
Right.
And then you take me, I'm the opposite of you in terms of, I always said I'm an old guy, and I don't look the part at all. One of the things I said in that post was that if we were working out in Gold's Gym, and you were looking around, you wouldn't ask me any questions. You wouldn't come up and be like, oh, look at that guy. Look at this bald, skinny guy over there. Yeah, banging out one-leg squats. I'm going to go talk to him, right? And so I guess my only point is that you don't need to look the part. And in some ways, I think looking the part, depending on your interpretation of the part, can be a drawback. And I've had this conversation. So in business, I'll give you a good for instance. In business, if I'm a mom and I bring my daughter into a gym for a sports performance program, and I get in there and I look and everybody is just jacked.
Yeah.
You know, like weightlifter big. I'm probably turning around with my daughter and going back out to the parking lot and thinking, maybe I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And so I think from a business standpoint, you have to be careful with what you think look the part is. For me, look the part, track sprinter. That's about what I'm looking for, whether it's male or female. I don't want power lifter. I don't want.
Now, you're talking about hiring when you're hiring?
Yeah, hiring.
Okay.
You know, I don't want like huge steroid guy. I don't want someone to walk in and think, this isn't where I want my kid.
Okay, so yeah, when you're talking about look the part, it really depends on your niche and what business or what you're trying to sell, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I can agree with. I think it depends on what look the part. What does that look like in your business?
In your field.
And what does it look like in your life? Like I said, for me, as you get older, there may come a time when you guys are 60 years old that you don't look the part so much anymore, but you're going to be a better coach than you were right now at whatever you got. Say you guys are, late 20s, early 30s, if I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And you'll be a better coach and you'll look the part less.
So,
but it's always the guy who looks the part who says that everybody else should look the part.
And
that was my only point.
We kind of touched on that in another episode. We were talking about, for instance, like track coaches. So you have these track gurus, these older cats who may have ran track, in their heyday, whatever the case may be. They might not look the part. They're older.
Well, they might not even be able to really get down there.
Yeah, they might not be able to even run like they used to. But like you said, they have that knowledge, and they're going to be better coaches.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's what you should really want. You want better coaches.
Right. And that's my only point. And the reason, I honestly, I look for pots to stir sometimes, to be truthful.
Yeah.
Because it's always some young guy who's spouting off about, you got to be able to look the part, you got to lift, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. And I'm like, that's bullshit. Sorry, I swore first.
No, you good. You good, man. You good.
The reality is you don't have to be able to do any of those things. You just have to be a good coach. And it was interesting because it brought up, I don't know if you saw later, people posted some videos of, there was a kicking coach in the NFL who was in a wheelchair.
Yes.
There was another guy coaching high school football with no arms and no legs. And you tell those guys, like, sorry, man, you can't coach.
Yeah. So I think this. I believe that there are, now those are some unicorns. Those guys are special. Like, to be in the wheelchair and never, ever have been able to walk. That dude never could walk, right? If I'm not mistaken. Right. Yeah. So
never kicked football.
He's never kicked a football. Now, I saw that story, and I saw it because of you. That's inspiring. I think that dude's a unicorn. Special, okay?
Right.
I do think, though, that I don't think looking the part hurts you if you still have the knowledge. I think I'm probably just like everyone else. As soon as I saw that, it perked me up. I was like, come on, Mike. Come on. Now, the first thing I thought about was I knew this guy back in 2012. He was one of the go-to athletic performance coaches in this area, and he could barely stand. He was severely overweight, and I don't know. It looked horrible when I saw him train. And so that image is the first thing that came to my head was, I was like, oh my gosh, this dude is so overweight. He's barely making it. Like he honestly, I'm not trying to be funny, but he looked like he was probably a heart attack away. Like, and I'm like, man, this isn't setting the tone for these young kids. This isn't saying, you're living by what you're preaching, but I get what you're saying, but that image, like everybody else, I'm sure, was the first thing I thought of. Like, I do not like seeing, like, overweight strength coaches trying to, I just don't, I don't know.
That's my point. I'm right with you.
Yeah.
I think I want my strength coaches to be in shape.
Yeah.
And able to move.
Yeah, yes.
But I really don't care if they can lift a lot of weight. I always say to somebody, man, if you can clean a bar, like if you can clean an empty bar and it looks perfect,
we good.
right?
We
You
good.
know what I mean? Like I don't care if you can clean 300 or 3.
Hey.
But can you teach it? Do you understand it?
And
can
that's
you
the
perform
biggest
it?
thing, being able to teach it.
Hey.
Right. And that's way more important because there's so many guys that look the part
Yeah.
that are terrible teachers.
So do you think that someone who's training should be able to do what they're asking?
Maybe not at the speed or weight,
or
but they should be able to at least
in an ideal world,
move.
yes.
Yeah.
Even for me, I mean, if you said to me right now, I could demonstrate almost everything that I wanted you to do at 60 years old.
Okay.
Obviously not, I always said, not with weight.
Yeah.
Right.
I might show you something with an empty bar, but I can do everything. I can still one-leg squat. I can still run. I can still jump. I can jump over hurdles. I can jump on a box. I think movement ability is much more important. Our problem is that we still got a lot of people that are strength coaches.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's all about the weight room and how much weight they can lift. It's amazing how many people. I always said, if you're a strength coach and you put up videos of yourself lifting and talk about how much weight you can lift, you need to grow up. You need to be more mature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no one cares.
Yeah,
It shows your age. When someone's like, "Oh, watch me deadlift 600 pounds," I'm like, "Who cares?" Like no one cares that you can deadlift. I mean, great if you work hard and that's.
Hey, but these days,
keep it to yourself.
Hey, but these days with this social media, boy, there's a place for those cats. They get on there and they lift 600 pounds, and then now they're the best powerlifting coach on this side of the Mississippi.
That's right. Yeah. But I think at least for those of us in the field, you've got to be able to filter that stuff out. You've got to be able to look at that and think, that really doesn't have anything to do with anything. And it's funny, the guys that, it's usually Twitter, the guys in Twitter or Instagram that get most bent out of shape about it are generally the guys like that are posting the videos.
Yeah.
And you look and think, of course you're the guy who gets bent out of shape about it, because yes, I'm probably directly talking to you. I mean, right where it hurts.
Yeah, right where it hurts. Put your finger in it.
Because you're the guy who really believes you gotta look the part. And I'm like, just don't not look the part.
Yeah.
But you, like I said, but you gotta figure out.
Don't not look the part.
Yeah, But it's like, what's the part?
That's half the thing with these high school coaches.
Because you go down to Houston and watch Clyde Hart coach. He's 84 years old or something. He's still coaching. Yeah. Michael Johnson's coach, track coach.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what part Clyde looks. I love
that'd
Clyde.
be a blessing.
You're like,
there.
exactly. I mean, talk about forgetting more than most people know. But I mean,
that'd be a blessing.
I mean, at 84 or whatever he is, like, what part do you play? Except the old guy in the movie, like, that's the only part you're getting. Right? And for me, as I said, I'm going to be 60 next year. And every year I probably look the part a little less.
Yeah.
Hey, you're looking good now.
Hey, yeah.
Thanks,
You're
looking
good. Hey, I see you. Hey, I saw you.
I look okay.
Hey, I saw you jumping on that trampoline, boy. You just be cracking me up. But yeah, man. Okay, so let's shift that. Now we're talking about weights. Now, Tell me what you're talking about with the back squats, Mike. Come on now.
I knew that was
Talk to me,
Talk
Mike.
to us.
Back squats.
because that's another one that hits you where it hurts, right?
Yeah, come on. Talk.
Like, don't say squats are bad. Please don't do that.
Yeah,
You can say anything except that.
I love it.
Come on,
And
man.
it makes people cry. I mean, it makes them cry on the internet when I say it, but the reality of the situation, and we've all been there, is that squats are not a great exercise. People get hurt. They get hurt at too high a frequency. And I'll tell you, now both of you, I'm going to what position?
Linebacker.
Linebacker. You?
Running back, defensive back.
Running back, defensive back. Okay, so the defensive back, and you might not have liked back squatting, but the running back, and you did.
Yeah.
But one of the things I realized when I was dealing with skill position guys,
Yeah.
and I said, we're not going to back squat anymore,
Yes.
I got nothing but high fives. I didn't get one guy looking at me going,
Hey,
oh,
don't nobody
man,
like
no
getting
way.
under that bar. That's what it is. That weight.
That weight on your back is something.
because they've all got hurt. They've all had back pain. I can't tell you how many NFL guys I've had say to me, really? That's the best news we've had all year, because I've had some dumbass college strength coach piling way too much weight on me for way too long, and my back is sore all the time.
So is that relative to the programming then, Mike? Can we just say that's a fault of whatever strength coach they had or their programming?
Have you watched many college football strength coach videos in the last couple months?
Horrible.
With the quarter
Yes.
squats? Yes.
Horrible. Okay.
Yes.
So again, tell me I'm wrong, right?
Yes, I have. Okay, so I hear what you're saying.
So then
You
that's
say
the
I shouldn't
problem.
give chainsaws to little children, right? Is it the fault of the chainsaw or the fault of the children? Either way, they don't mix.
So then the squat is.
I ain't never heard that before.
He got it up there now. He got it. So then is it that the squat isn't being taught properly?
It's not being programmed appropriately.
I don't think, personally, I just don't think it is a good lift for long-term longevity.
Okay.
And I think that's the difference. And so you guys have a business, and what I've always said, I'm doing a presentation.
Treat your
on
business like
this
a
weekend.
lawyer. I know what you about to say, like you're a lawyer, Mike. I do my research now.
I'm telling you.
Hey.
And so when I was a college strength coach, and again, I did this as a college strength coach, we back squatted, because everybody back squatted, and for football, you're supposed to back squat. But I also knew that 10 to 20% of my players were in the training room getting treatment on their back at any given time. So if we had 100 guys, somewhere between 10 and 20 guys were getting treatment on their back and or were restricted from squatting by the trainers. And I used to look at that and think, I have basically somewhere between a 10 and 20% injury rate with this lift. Is there a better alternative to this? That was where I went. So at that time, we switched to front squat.
Okay.
And we went to about from 80 to 90.
Okay.
But I still had a decent number of guys that were doing belt squats or were trying to do some kind of alternative because their back bothered them. And one of my assistants at that time, a former NFL guy, had said, if you could test single leg strength, do you think you'd stop squatting? And I said, yeah, I think if I could find a test of single leg strength, I think I'd stop squatting. And so in probably, I'm going to say 2007 or 2008, somewhere around there, we started playing around with testing split squats.
Okay.
And the thing
Like
that we
Bulgarian
realized-
split? Like Bulgarian
yeah,
split?
Bulgarian, which I hate that name, but
Is it you talking rear foot elevated
rear
or
foot
just
elevated split squat.
Okay.
Rear foot elevated. So we started testing rear foot elevated split squat. And what we realized is that, so I took 25 hockey players, right, and then we won the national championship, so 25 good hockey players. We were 2009 Division I national champs. And I tested them all in front squat and in a rear foot elevated split squat. And one thing was very surprising. They were equal.
They were equal.
Hold on. What do you
Equal.
mean they were equal?
Equal. The numbers were equal. So if I had a guy who front squatted 300, 315, 320, whatever, his rear foot elevated split squat was also the same. And the split squat, we did a rep max because I was a little bit worried about doing singles. Front squat, we did singles. Split squat, we did a repetition max test. But then we projected them both out.
Okay.
And they were equal. And then I said, wait a second. I got guys that in a one-leg squat variation are as strong as they are in a two-leg squat exercise. Then I started to look into the research into what they call bilateral deficit.
Okay.
And what I realized is that we're all stronger on one leg than we are on two. We're all going to handle heavier relative loads.
Heavier relative loads. Okay.
Yeah, meaning you'll split squat more than half of what you'd squat. So I routinely have athletes that will split squat 250 pounds for sets of 10. They could not back squat 500 pounds for sets of 10. And then, like, the squat guys come out of the woodwork and they're like, yeah, but they're using their back leg. You know, they're pulling with it. And I'm like, it still doesn't account for the difference. And when you really read the research, the bilateral deficit research is there, and it's very, very compelling. And I always say to everybody, so we did this in vertical jump.
Okay.
I said, okay, I'm going to look at bilateral deficit in vertical jump. And I took our 2010 Women's Olympic Ice Hockey team, and they all did vertical jumps on our Just Jump mat. And then I made them all do effectively a vertical hop, right leg and left leg. Out of all the girls, 29 out of 30 were at least 20% higher when I summed right plus left. And then I say to people, like, again, the people, the two-legged squat people, when you really look at the neurological side of this thing, your body probably finds two-legged exercise neurologically confusing, and as a result is naturally not as good at it. Like, if I said to either one of you guys, show me your best dunk, right? Basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think either one of you would run up to the basket and jump off two legs.
Hey,
Would you?
I actually am a 2-foot jumper.
You are?
Yeah.
See, too much squatting. That's why.
I'm a
But,
two-
I'll tell you, 90%
I'm a
of
2-foot
people-
jumper. But hey, okay, so
And then you can get into, so you said lawyer, right? And you're right, because I get into, so back squat, we know what the back does not like. The back does not like the compressive load.
compression.
The back does not like the shear force of being pushed forward. And backs don't like torque. So when you combine that 7-foot Olympic bar with, 500 plus pounds, and then, that, like you said, the problem with perfect technique is we only need the technique to be off a little bit on one rep for somebody to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You might have somebody think, I did a set of 10, I did 9 perfect squats. And then I tipped a little on that 10th one,
And it was
and
over.
I tweaked.
So I got a
Tweak my
question.
back.
So do y'all back squat at Michael Boyle strength and conditioning?
No. The only people that back squat are kids that have to go to college and back squat test.
Okay.
So if you're on, let's say you're on a college football team.
You
and
know
you
that they
back
have to
squat.
do it, so y'all
Right.
program it so that they're prepared.
Exactly. Because I don't want to send anybody into a situation that they're not ready for
Right.
and think that I didn't
Okay.
do my job preparing you for your testing.
Yeah.
So just like we might prepare you for a conditioning test that we didn't agree with, we will prepare you for a weight room test. We have to teach. We don't clean from the floor, but we do have to teach some kids to clean from the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
we
they're
do.
going to do a power clean from the floor. So that is our exception to our rule.
Yeah,
Will be, and it's only in the summer, and it's only college kids.
yeah.
But we will make exceptions. But if you came to our gym, the one thing you would see is you'd be like, wow, these people are so strong on one leg. You would be. We had an NFL guy one time, a linebacker for the Patriots, come in and train with us, and he got out split squatted the first day by a bunch of the girls on the Olympic team, and he looked at me, he's like, Mike, I got to get going here.
Hey, so I gotta ask, I gotta ask for myself, and I gotta ask for the viewers. What kind of depth are we getting on this split squat, Mike?
Probably pretty close to what we would get in a regular
In a
squat.
regular
But it does
squat?
vary a little bit in terms of the good thing is it allows you to be a little more flexible with depth. So when I was a college strength coach, it was like powerlifting legal. That if you're getting your squat, I'm sitting there, I watched every squat, and if you don't get 3 white lights, you don't get it. Right?
Yeah, it sound like me.
Yeah. So, but once we switched to split squat,
Yeah.
it was basically, we put a pad down there. You touch your knee to the pad. If your knee touches the pad,
You were
then you
good.
get it. And all we're doing is writing down the amount of weight and the number of reps.
Okay.
So
How
you
were
might
y'all
have-
testing that relative strength? How many reps were y'all doing?
Well, it's interesting. When we started, I wanted to test 10,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't know what was going to happen. So I took my college hockey guys and I said, okay, just grab the heaviest weight you've ever grabbed, which was something that they'd done for 5.
Okay.
And then I said, stop. We're going to stop at 20.
Okay.
Do you know that, again, 90% of the guys got 20 reps on each leg with a weight they had used for 5?
For 5.
Most of the weights were 90 to 120 pounds in each hand.
Mm.
So these guys, I get videos on my computer of one of our kids who was 165 doing 180 for 20. 90s in each hand, just banging them out, boom, boom, boom. And the difference, we've never, and this is where, some people are going to argue because McGill has said that the split position can, distort your pelvis, whatever. Everybody I know that does it, 0 injuries. We've never had an
injury. Here at the facility, like, if someone is having some issues with back squat or back pain, I actually moved them to start doing unilateral movements like split squats and to alleviate the pain.
All you got to do now is just do that sooner. You just got to realize it. We should start with that. You know what I'm going to do? You guys are laughing, but I'm going to try to film somebody running 10 yards versus somebody double leg jumping 10 yards.
Oh man, yeah.
And say, okay, does anybody think the guy who's double leg jumping is going to beat the guy that's running? Because he ain't, and he's going to get his ass kicked, right?
Right.
But this is where you start looking, when you start thinking about, whatever, specificity, function. We don't do,
we do a lot of unilateral. You're right.
Yeah. You do all. There's nothing in football.
You're right.
Nothing anymore. Like even offensive line play is all unilateral. It's all stepping.
So the idea that you need to load the nervous system, whatever you want to call it, because we're doing bilateral movements, you get a heavier load, is just debunked because relatively you can get that same load, if not more, working out of the single leg or the unilateral.
Exactly.
movement.
And that's been debunked. The hormonal thing has been debunked. The idea that you need the heavier load. I always said, your body, I don't think your brain knows that you did 250 one leg at a time or 500 two legs at a time. And in a sense, if it does know that, it's doing the opposite. It's probably making you, there's very clear evidence that you're less neurologically efficient bilaterally.
Oh, so you think there's a little bit of a startle reflex bilateral?
Well, there's a neurological phenomenon to bilateral exercise that's not good. Because your body doesn't want, like you said, you're a two-leg jumper, but two-leg jumpers are pretty rare. If you look at most guys, if you say jump as high, like when you're doing vertical jump testing, almost everybody, if you give them an approach run, can jump higher off one leg. It is very rare that you find somebody who's going to run up to the vertex and bang off two legs and go up, right?
Hey.
Everybody's going to go, and everybody, again, neurologically, if you're right-handed, I know what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. You're going to jump off your left leg, and you're going to jump up and touch with your right hand. And if you said to me, okay, I can touch 42 off of just my left leg, then I'm like, well, if the bilateral thing worked, you should be able to get 84.
You should be able to jump.
Legs, right? But
maybe not 84, maybe 46.
Yeah, but you don't.
It's a double, huh? It's supposed to double.
Yeah. Well, it's like in theory, that's the idea. You got two legs versus one.
You should be able to.
That's what the squat guys want you to believe. Is that it's twice as good.
That's
right.
And I look at it and think, again, the hard part about this is there's a ton of science that people just don't want to look at it. It's like there's a lot of the squat people now are like the flat earth people. You know what I mean?
I get with you, Mike.
They don't want to see the science because the science, and again, the people, I'm going to do one of these on Friday with another guy who trains Olympic lifters and power lifters.
Yeah.
And think about this. If you're training power lifters and Olympic lifters and suddenly for athletes bilateral training becomes less significard, that affects you and that affects your business. That affects everything about what you do.
Yeah.
And so you fight back hard against people like me because you do not want to accept the fact that I might be right. Because if I am, then the things that you believe in, and it literally gets almost like to one of these sort of religious battles where it's like, no, man, this is what I believe. Yeah. And fundamentally, and I always said, like, I started this talk and I said, do you do back squats because your high school coach told you the squat was the king of all lifts, and that you'd never get big unless you did it.
You squats.
And you were smart, you're shaking your head, you're like, yeah, that's why I did it, because my high school coach told me that.
Yeah, it's a culture. It's a culture thing.
And he had that poem up on the wall, about squatting with big plates round, high, blah, 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 all that bullshit, macho bullshit that they give you, right? And you're reading all that stuff as a high school kid, and you're thinking, like, I saw one today, bar throw day. You guys go look at, see if you can put, and it was guys getting their max clean and then throwing the bar down on the platform.
No.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Bro,
It's
I
too
mean,
much.
there's
it was
a lot of janky stuff going
not
on.
respectful of the equipment, not respectful of the lift, not, but the guys were pumped in the weight room. There was a lot of high-fiving and chest bumping.
Yeah.
And, I said, it's like, do you want to be, do you want to make an Under Armour commercial or do you want to make an athlete? Like, that's the thing you got to think about, right?
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
we look at it and think, I want to make an athlete, and my number one job. So especially now, you guys know because you played football at a high level.
Healthy.
You get to the NFL, all they want to do is not get you hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Because and everybody knows it, but you win because your best players are playing.
Yeah.
And if you get these guys hurt in the weight room, some guy trying to squat 600 or 700 pounds or whatever it is, that general manager is up your ass.
Yeah.
That next day, like, what was going on down there? Why was my guy, my $10 million guy?
Right. So what's really important?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's really important is health. More important than anything.
Yeah.
With bar nothing. I mean, I want, they always say the best ability is availability, right? I want to have you, if you're my best player, I want you ready to play.
Right.
And if someone said to me, I might sacrifice 10%, in all honesty, I'm good with that. Because the big reality in professional sports is that your best guy is probably way more than 10% better than his backup. And so I think you have to be intelligent when you're doing these things. I'll give you an example. The years I worked, the first year I came to the Red Sox, we had 11 guys who were coming off. They were post-surgical guys on the disabled list the first year we got there. Second year we had 0. First year we were last. Second year we won the World Series.
Availability. Right? The best ability is availability. Boy, you might see that on a shirt, Mike.
Said it now.
Might have to put that on a shirt. What?
And what so I guess this is and you guys realize because when you really, if you sit and think about what I'm saying, you kind of got to nod your head a little like yeah, this guy might be right. And I think as you get older, you will be 100% certain that I'm right. Because you have to hurt some kids. I always think college strength coaching is like the world's dumbest profession because you can hurt freshmen and no one cares. It's like, go to the training room.
Yeah, but
hurry back. Go to the training room. Get tougher.
Yeah,
hey, man, you got. You know what I mean? And it's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
But you go to the professional level, and that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
And suddenly now you're solely responsible for the health and welfare of these guys, and they're going to monitor success or failure by things like man game. The NHL does man games lost. NFL does starters games missed. Baseball does disabled day, days in the disabled list, whatever it is. Everyone is going to have a health-related metric on which they're going to evaluate you. And that doesn't happen in collegiate strength and conditioning. So you get kind of a free pass to maybe do some dumb stuff, and there's not much accountability. I'm telling you, because the reason people get mad, I did it already, okay? I hurt a bunch of innocent kids, to be honest. I mean, nobody died, but some guys hurt their backs testing some things. Probably now that I look at it and think, I probably wouldn't do that today.
Yeah.
If I was a college strength coach.
So basically what you're trying to do is drop those mistakes and that knowledge on some people to avoid some of these issues now, and just,
Absolutely. Yeah, because I think this is the difference. It's funny, look at my Instagram post today. It's about something called the Dunning-Kruger Effect.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And Dunning-Kruger Effect is Dunning and Kruger were two researchers, and basically they did a research study, and what they established was that young people drastically overestimate their knowledge. They all think I always think, when you're in your 20s, you got it all figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly you get to around 40 and you're like,
oh, Mike, I'm 30 now, man. Ain't me. I'm 30 right now, so I'm good.
But so you got more questions now. I bet you do. I bet at 30 you have more questions. And like at 20, in your 20s, you have this certainty that I am the man. I am right. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Now you get to be like me. You get to be almost 60. And I just laugh at those people. I look back and think, trust me, I wrote an article, and it was called 38 Years at the Train Station, Waiting for My Ship to Come In. It's like...
yeah.
You realize that, wow, there's so much I don't know.
Yeah.
And to have any of that, I love the certainty of these guys. I know.
Yeah.
And and I look at it and think, the three toughest words in the English language are I don't know.
I don't know.
But I don't know will lead you. When I look at the things, the places I've gone, and the people I've talked to, whether it's going to Greg Cook and the Functional Mood Screen, or listening to Stuart McGill, or reading Shirley Sarman's book, or whatever. There are all these things that I did after I knew it all. And what do they say? It's what you learn after you know it all that counts, right? When you're young, you got it all figured out. I got the perfect program. I know exactly how to do this. And then a couple things blow up in your face. A couple kids get hurt. You feel bad. You feel a little responsible. You look at a kid and think, wow, that kid hurt his back. Yeah. And he can't play right now. And then the doctor's talking about disc injury and micro disc surgery and rehab.
A little bit more.
What?
I say you start thinking a little bit more.
Right, you do.
Yeah.
You start thinking a little bit more. You start looking at things and thinking, and then, like I said, and whether that at the professional level, that's really magnified because you can lose your job. Yeah. But at sometimes that it used to, in the old days, it led to professional programs that were really watered down. Using machines and just really making it easy for the guys because it's kind of like, hey, I got a good job here. Just don't get anybody hurt. Don't get me fired. Everything will be fine. I always said those guys like, oh, we'll just let everybody get hurt on the field. And it's like, but that's what guys did. Yeah. Okay. So there is a happy medium, and that's why I look at things like heavy split squatting as a happy medium. Yeah. Because I can look at that and say, I can load this up really, really heavy, and nothing bad is going to happen.
You lured me in on this one, Mike. You did a good job.
I wouldn't have come on the show if I didn't think I could convince you. I would never set myself up for failure.
Hey, nah.
We do a lot of unilateral work, though.
Yeah, we do. We have we actually do a lot of your split squats, both feet on the ground. We do rear foot elevated, some front foot elevated, but we do a lot of back squats also. We train athletes. From as young as 7 up to some professional guys. We have an adult Ollie Fit class. And in that class, I think that's where we could probably do some more unilateral squats. And we do a lot of lunges. Like yesterday, we did lunges, barbell lunges. But that's definitely something I think we can implement a little bit more into our program because I like single leg squats. I really do.
Well, and that's where I think, like I said, if you just look at it, particularly with your adults, it makes no sense at all because I've said with adults, if you get hurt, you can't go to work. Yeah.
And then business too. If you hurt, then they can't come and keep it. Yeah.
Becomes a bigger problem. But as I said, I really do believe that when people actually take the time to listen to what I'm saying and not just react to it, and to read some of the articles and read the books and watch the videos, I think people will come away a little bit more with that sort of nodding, head scratching, like, wait a second, this guy might have a point. Because I look at it and think, why would I have ended up like this 38 years later? I was a competitive powerlifter. Yeah. I was a college strength coach. If you look, it's funny, not in my bio, but I get credit in a book called The Draft for inventing combine training, which I might have done in the 80s.
Oh, that's how you're doing it.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. Look up the book. It's called The Draft. And in the book, I said I invented combine training because it says so in that book.
Ooh,
it says in that book that I did.
Hey, we're going to put this public. We're going to make this public now. Hey.
And I don't know. There might have been somebody else at the same time, but I was definitely one of the first people in the 80s to think, wait a second, we're going to train our guys to go do this thing. And we had we had a lot of positional records in the early days of the combines just because we practiced.
Yeah, that's
But my point being, why would I get to this point if I didn't? I always said my goal is to do the best possible thing that I can for my athletes. I'm not doing this to be controversial. I'm not doing it to whatever. People are like, oh, you're looking for clicks. Yeah. Like, I don't need clicks. Yeah. Trust me. Why?
Hey, you did say you're trying to be a 59-year-old millennial.
I am. I do it because it's fun.
Okay, okay.
I enjoy it. Do you know that the videos I posted this weekend, I got almost 60,000 views between the 3 videos.
Which ones were these about?
One of them was Kendall Coyne, one of our Olympic girls, deadlifting. She deadlifted 300 at 125. And then 2 of them were compilations of my son and one of the girls that he trains with cleaning.
Okay.
But if you look at the totals on those videos, they're like 20, 20, 16.
Yeah.
So we're getting a lot of clicks.
Yeah.
So that's what
He
I
don't
like.
need the
He
clicks.
saying he don't
man.
need the clicks, y'all. They getting them already. Hey, Mike. So tell me, like, so where are you going? What are you doing now? I mean, I know are you still actively coaching?
Yeah,
Like,
I coach every day.
okay.
I coached this morning, and I'll go back and coach this afternoon at 3 o'clock. In the summer, I work with our NHL and AHL guys every day, so I'm coaching 4 days a week, 2 hours a day with those guys. I have a group of girls that are playing in the Olympics or trying to be on our Olympic ice hockey team, and I train them another couple hours, and then I train my son and his friends another couple hours. So I'll probably coach somewhere between 4 and 6 hours a day in the summer.
Okay.
During the year, it will maybe be more like 4. I'll usually coach a group in the morning. I just got done with some baseball guys.
Yeah.
I've had Rich Hill, who pitches for the Dodgers, for like the last 10 years or something like that. And
so you still in it, man. Like
I'm very much in it. I'm doing it literally every day. I'll go back today with my son. I have a middle school group today at 3:15, and we'll have 8 middle school kids that we're training.
Hold on, you got a middle school group at 3:15? What time they get out of school?
They get out of school at 2:30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just have, is that one location, and is there more than one location?
We have 2 locations. So we have one. Our main place is about 20,000 square feet and is about 20 minutes north of Boston, and then we have another one that's probably 15 minutes north of that.
Okay.
That's about 8,000 square feet. That's in like a big indoor sports complex, so it's got a big turf field and a couple hockey rinks.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's
So
So how long? Which one? The first one. How long did it take you before y'all decided to open up the second facility?
we opened up the second one fairly soon after.
Yeah.
And we've actually dabbled in a couple of different second locations. And at one point we had a third.
Yeah.
But it's you realize it's not that easy to do.
Yeah.
And so now we've got 2. I always said I might contemplate a third if it was in the right place.
Yeah.
But in general, I probably wouldn't, because I'm again, at my age, I'm thinking more about the exit strategy than the business expansion strategy. So
yeah. Cool, man. Hey, we appreciate you, Mike, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this has been good, man. I think this is going to be interesting for our viewers to hear your experience and your knowledge and just kind of your
take.
your take. And I don't care about what the industry is saying. Like, this is my experience, and here's the research that goes along with it. Because I'll tell you, I was looking at you crazy.
right, I know. And like I said, everybody has the same initial reaction.
Yeah.
But I think that's the important part, is that you need to. It's that ability to stop and think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
And really kind of, like I said, scratch your head a little and go, is this...
Oh, and I saw what you said. I like what you said about how there's a lot of knowledge, I guess, that comes in disagreement. So you made some kind of comment as to whatever that is. And I think that what happens is a lot of people don't want to have these conversations. They just want to disagree, then move on and continue doing whatever they're doing. But for us, being, young in the industry, like, we started Sacrifice Training, I was 24. So, we've been doing this now for 6 years. And for me, it is about us being able to kind of rub shoulders and just kind of take in some stuff from some of you guys and just learn and adapt and look at some research and get better and because our number one goal is to keep our athletes healthy. And we have to do a lot of training and rehab and stuff, for hurt athletes as well. So I think this is great for us. And this will be great for our people to hear.
Well, good. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, man. Hey, expect to hear from me, Mike, man. I might shoot you a text message or something to get. Hey, I might need some sauce. So I'm going to hit you, all right?
No problem.
All right, Mike, man. Hey, I appreciate you.
Appreciate it, Big
make
Mike.
sure, before y'all leave, make sure you guys go and follow Michael Boyle. Check him out. Follow, like, just go listen to the dude, man. He's sitting in his
Got that
car.
knowledge now.
Hey, with his sunroof, open, doing his videos. Y'all go check him out. Make sure y'all go and subscribe. What else I do?
Turn your notifications on.
Ask Sauce Twins.
Share.
Comment. Holler at us. Talk to us. Hit Mike up. He gonna hit you back. He gonna hit you back. Hey, we just want to thank you one more time, man.
Yes,
it was a
sir,
pleasure
Mike.
having you on,
All right.
man.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate it.
All
See
right.
ya.
What will you sacrifice to be great?